Because the aliens are here.
The aliens. We apparently have been back in engineering technology, mate, even before Roswell, apparently.
So, one thing, so when that all happened, I was like, this is my chance. Because if there's one thing that I go deep in on conspiracies,
it's UFOs.
It's aliens. Like, that's the one I'm like,
yeah.
I hope I see that before I die.
Yeah.
That's the one.
The biggest conspiracy, more than, assassinations,
it's not murders, at this point, is it a conspiracy?
What ifs?
But I get so...
What exists and what doesn't? What is true reality and what isn't? What are the stories that we tell?
I want it to be real. I want to see that before I die.
Right.
I really want to see one. Or just something. And...
Isn't the idea of seeing an alien like an equivalent on some level of like thinking of seeing God?
Not an alien, just knowing they're there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just want to know. I want it to be 100%. I want them on a podcast. Do you know what I mean? On Joe
How
Rogan.
are you going to get them on Joe Rogan if they're an alien? It's not going to be able to speak English or communicate with us.
How do you know?
You reckon they'll be able to understand our technology and just get a voice synthesizer to speak their mind?
I go to time travelers.
Yeah.
They come and just see some shit and then they fucking...
Just zip right on in.
That's what I give it to.
Tic-tac right on in and
out. Do you know what aliens are? They're probably just really
interdimensional
rich white people from the future.
From the future. Isn't that a South Park episode?
Is it?
I think it is, where they time travel, they just come back and they're like, oh shit, and then they start making their way back through.
Really?
Oh, is it that or is it? No, they've definitely had people that, and they just find out it's like, oh, we can teleport back in. It's way better here than where we come from.
Sounds like a good episode.
Yeah, I think it was there.
No shit.
South Park, man.
When the aliens came, I'm that into aliens.
Yep.
When it all happened, I walked into my mum's.
There's so many ways that aliens could introduce themselves. Like, what are they? Are they humanoid little things? Are they things that are coming in spaceships? Are they already...
I walked to Mum. I was like, Mum, there's fucking aliens.
Aliens are coming.
And she was like... And I was like, no. I was like, it's real.
Yeah, it's coming.
And she's like, now what? COVID again?
And now what? That's what people say. That's what they were saying. I was reading some articles.
Now what? We get locked down?
About all the UAPs and David Grush and all this that's going on in the States in the hearings. He's getting a political platform essentially. He's under oath.
Commander Fravor and
Ryan Graves.
have
both. They're all testified.
What's with the dude wearing the bandana?
Dude, there's a bunch of weirdos that have all tied on because they're all from the UFO
that makes
community.
it look less legit.
That's what people notice. Who's that guy carrying the crystal ball in the background?
And he was asking good questions, and then when I seen him, I was like, maybe he's just like one of those outlandish Texan politicians or something.
That's what you ask questions like, what is your history? You're like, oh, he wrote a book 25 years ago about UFO sightings and all this stuff. So everyone wants to believe it.
He worked with Bob Lazar. How weird though, but everything Bob Lazar has said
is coming
into fruition.
Same thing with like Stephen
The
Greer,
shape of them, shape of them, how they maneuver.
Have we heard more about this the Element 115 or whatever the hell?
Oh, it's a legit element. Like they can find it. For those who haven't heard the Bob Lazar story, it's very divisive between like the UFO kind of community.
Enthusiasts.
I would bet things that other people would be uncomfortable betting that he is not lying.
That Bob Lazar's not lying. Here's my issue with all this, and what I'm interested and curious about is humans are storytelling animals. We like to tell ourselves, and we can delude ourselves. Our brain actually evolved to just kind of fit in with it. So the story we tell ourselves, we may believe it wholeheartedly because we believe it's what we saw. But if something's inexplicable for whatever reason to you, you've then added to it post hoc. You've added to it after the fact. And then, your memory can be compromised because of that, so you remember a different way. Which is as someone that's trying.
What about human intuition?
That's the thing. Human intuition.
Other animals
could all be false.
I don't know.
Human intuition could all be a fraud.
No.
Dude, I've just finished transcribing a book I read.
How do you explain this then? How do you explain this? If intuition's fake.
Right.
When someone's...
fake, but what do you mean by fake? It's not fake, it happens.
When someone's looking at you from behind and they're looking at you.
You can feel it, yeah.
What's that shit?
They try and study it, but there's nothing proven about it.
Is that intuition or is that like
That would be more of a predatory prey instinct.
That was
still built into our instincts.
I'm gonna watch this back and be like, fuck, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
That would be an instinct, mate. That would be an instinct from our heritage. Yeah, that would be an instinct, like like a prick up on the back to know
something's on your back.
Okay, so the easiest explanation for this, for an evolutionary purpose, is why is
scared of the dark.
We're scared of the dark, scared of snakes.
Go get it, get it, Tom. Drop that Joe Rogan knowledge.
Here we go. Here's my bro science. Scared of what's the rustling in the bushes, right? The evolutionary thought is, why are we so attuned to scared thinking instead of just like, nah, it's nothing. We always fall to like what we're afraid of. And so, because if you think about in your evolutionary past, when you're out in the savannah and there's rustling in the feathers and you go, nah, it's fine, you get eaten by the lion. Whereas the savvy ones that then got to procreate because they made more strategic decisions would say, most likely it's not a lion. But just in the case it is, I'm going to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's why you'd be alive and I'd be
So
dude.
They say over the evolutionary timescales of what it takes to go from species to species, that to procreate, and which is apparently the whole main purpose of a biological organism, is to procreate, put your genes on into the next organism, and then what goes on after that is things evolve and change, and ways that we actually have behaviors are evolved behaviors because of the species that we actually are. And that ties in deeply with what makes us distinct and unique from the rest of the animal kingdom, which is our giant brains, which gets into another complicated reason, is why did certain things in our brain evolve? And one of the dark things about it is the ideas of Machiavellianism, personifying yourself.
Into Machiavellianism.
I do. Well, I'm interested in how people deceive others and why. Why do people lie? Why are they con artists? Why are people?
I was just gonna say, what if all of that's bullshit and the aliens came down and were like, no,
they put it all in us, mate. Oh, they just zapped us.
Because that's a thing too. That's a thing too, bro. That's a thing. I'm not saying now. I don't go that deep. All right, I'm just going to clarify that I don't go that deep to the point that if people don't know,
now
there's a conspiracy theory that aliens aided to human evolution.
Yes, that's is what I'd say. The inkling of that would be the Saccharoi-Sitchins and the Anunnaki and all that.
The Anunnaki.
Yeah, the Anunnaki. That's where it comes from.
Did they help build the pyramids too?
Oh, apparently it was...
Because apparently they helped
They
build
may
the
have been the
pyramids.
gods from the sky, which all the episodes of polytheistic religions back...
Did you ever watch Ancient Aliens?
Of course I did, yes.
Were you...
Sukalos. Yeah, his old mate Sukalos. He was great. Listened to him on Rogan a few times. I got my sister, the only episode she would listen to, we were driving out into the Nevada desert, and she goes, "This is the only Rogan episode I'll listen with you." And it was with him, and they were talking about dragons and ancient civilizations, because we were driving 3 hours into the desert to essentially go look at stars in the middle of the desert. So she's like, "This is the only time I'll listen about aliens and conspiracies, about have we been visited and all the evidence for..."
Oh, well, that's where that meme comes from.
stuff.
For anyone who doesn't know Ancient Aliens, I 1,000,000% know you know the meme of that guy going like this. Aliens.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that it was aliens.
I'm not saying it was aliens.
Because everything was always not saying it was aliens, but that was the preface
that was the fucking memes.